Good evening, friends. Welcome back to the Castro Valley News live show. And ahead of the roll call, good evening, Kimberly. So I'll first let me introduce myself. My name is Robert. This is a live show, and the premise is kind of like an old school radio talk show where we get to interact with each other and talk about things happening in our community. And good evening to Valerie as well. A good evening, Catherine. Good evening, Laura. I'd like to give a shout out to tonight's sponsor, and that is Pete's Ace Hardware, located at 2569 Castro Valley Boulevard. If you are not aware, Pete's Ace Hardware is celebrating their 95th anniversary this year. And specifically, what Pete's would like you to know is good evening, Dennis. What Pete's would like you to know specifically is, like everyone else, their business is changing and things are happening. So what's happening is actually starting yesterday, Pete's operating hours will be Monday to Saturday, 7:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Sunday will be 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. So, as you can imagine, with the shelter in place and all of the different things that are happening with a lot of businesses, their hours have been kind of changing and morphing as the months have gone along. And let me also mention Pete's never closed during the shelter in place. So, a tip of the cap to Pete's Hardware for continuously serving the community. And again, one more time, Pete's Ace Hardware, you know where they're located, but I'll give you the address just the same, 2569 Castro Valley Boulevard. Phone number 510-581-7633. And one more time, a friendly reminder, their hours have changed starting yesterday. Monday to Saturday, 7:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Sunday will be 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. And a hearty, happy 95th birthday to our wonderful friends at Pete's Ace Hardware. Here's to many more years in our community. Let me jump back to the roll call. Good evening, Matella. Matella and I had a conversation kind of offline earlier today and on a couple other days about a topic that I'm gonna pull from the list later. But let me cross off the list here. Sponsor and shout out to Pete's Ace Hardware. If you're not familiar with the fundraisers that happen at Pete's Ace Hardware, I don't think there have been too many during the shelter in place, but prior to the shelter in place, there are a lot of barbecues that happen at Pete's Ace Hardware. I'm not sure if you guys know this or not, but the groups that come to Pete's that do those barbecues to raise money, Pete's Ace, I'm sorry, I keep saying Ace Hardware. Pete's Hardware continuously donates all of that food to whatever group that comes to them to do a fundraiser. So essentially, all of the cash from those fundraisers go directly to those charitable organizations. I think there's baseball teams. I think there's what else are there? I think some, you name it. I think there have been Girl Scout, Boy Scout organizations that have done the barbecue cookouts outside Pete's Hardware. I almost did it. So that kind of blew my mind when I found that out. So there's a lot of stuff that Pete's Hardware does behind the scenes to enhance our community. Great community partners, great people. Huge, huge shout out to Linda and Jason and the staff there. I can't say enough about them. So getting back to the roll call, good evening, Elda. Good evening, Bob. Big shout out and a tip of the cap to Bob. Kimberly is asking, is everyone okay in last night's fire? To the best of my knowledge, yes. From what I heard, a neighbor alerted the residents and everybody got out. What I'm the other thing that I understand is the Red Cross, I believe, is assisting the family. It was, if you missed it, it was a huge confirmed structure fire on, I think it was Dubin Court near, I'm forgetting the cross street, but it was a huge structure fire. Unfortunately, it was one street over from one of our Alameda County fire department stations, and they got on scene and squelched it fast. So here's two people asking the same question. Jason and Kathleen are asking, where is Don from One Bad Apple? I spoke to Don quite a few times in the past week, and he said he would be back. Let me text him and see if I can ask him if he's gonna tune in tonight. Bear with me, guys. I'm gonna send off a text here. Hang on. You can probably hear me typing. Okay, there you go. So Kathleen, good evening, and Jason, good evening to you too as well. I just sent a text to Don asking him, well, telling him that people are asking for him. Don Shalpy is an awesome gentleman. I've known Don for a lot of years. He is also the owner of One Bad Apple Records. I met Denise is here. Good evening. Matella, I've also been wondering about him and was actually getting concerned. Don is okay. He's in good health. He's got some things going on in his life that I think are distracting him from other things. But Don is okay. He's in good health. And like I said, I just texted him. Hopefully, maybe he will appear on the show tonight. So I want to step back over to the roll call. If you want to shout out, say hello and good evening on the roll call, and I'll do my best to pronounce your name correct. I don't think I've pronounced one name incorrectly, but it's bound to happen. So we're still kind of in the roll call. So if you're, like I said, if you're out there listening and would like a shout out, definitely. Catherine is asking, does anyone know what happened to the smoke shop on Castro Valley Boulevard next to the dry cleaners? They were just open. Catherine, there's a new owner of that entire building there, and they are in the process of kind of, how do I say this right? The new owners of that building, it's actually the folks who own the marketplace now. And what they're doing is they have plans for that building to be something different. And I think there's a dry cleaner. I think the dry cleaner will be leaving sometime in the near future as well. The smoke shop, I believe they left on their own accord. The hair salon that was at the other end of that building, they were evicted. And like I said, the new owners of that building are the folks who have the Castro Valley Marketplace. And I think their intention is to renovate, upgrade, and bring in a new tenant there. So that is the delicate dance with words that I did to give you the answer to that question. So one more time, well, let me give me the phone number if you'd like to text in, 510-331-9112. I used to ask people to call in, but it seems like most people are a little bit shy to be on the air, and I get that, I understand that. we're 51 episodes into, and that blows my mind. We've done this. We haven't done it 51 weeks in a row because we've taken a couple weeks off, but we've done this show 51 times, and it's mind blowing how awesome it's become, really, as a tool, not a tool, a means for the community to kind of gather together and talk about things that are happening here in our wonderful town. Catherine is mentioning you keep losing audio. Just heard the tail end. Well, I can repeat it one more time. I apologize. Sometimes people's internet is slow. Long story short, the smoke shop, that entire building. Good evening, Christy. How are you? Thank you for the friendly wave. I'm sorry, I'm just reading some of the other comments. It looks like Facebook may be having some streaming issues. I'm looking at the bit rate here, and it's kind of wonky. So I apologize, guys. If you have other windows open on your computer while you're listening, you might want to close those to increase the bit rate. I think that's the proper term, the bit rate. But if you can, close some of the other windows on your computers, and that way you can increase the bit rate on the stream here. So, oh yes, Catherine, sorry. That building where the smoke shop is on Castro Valley Boulevard, it's the corner there next to the dry cleaners, was purchased some time ago by the same people who purchased the Daughtry building and are responsible for the Castro Valley Marketplace. They have plans to improve and hopefully garner a new tenant there. So they're kind of, as you can imagine, uh, looking to clear out the tenants there and do whatever improvements or whatever plans they have at that building. Denise Smoke Shop near Nations and the auto parts store. No, that is completely other area of Castro Valley. The smoke shop that we're talking about is across from Sherry's, next to, that's a dry cleaner there. Good evening to Mary. Welcome to the show. Kimberly is mentioning she's having some trouble, I guess, with the show breaking up. Like I said, it looks like it's kind of a Facebook issue. Jean Marie is mentioning no video, just audio, and that's what we do. We don't do video at this point because if Bob is mentioning smoke shop, that will be Chick-fil-A. No, thank goodness not. Yes, John, I think Jean Marie. I hope I'm saying that. It's Jean or Jean. No video, just audio. That's what we do with the show here. If there were video here, you would be distracted by my unappealing face. So Don the man. Don has responded. He's driving right now, and he needs to use the restroom. He will try to join us later. I hope he will. Let me Okay, sorry guys, I was just responding to Don. So hopefully Don will. There's another person asking about Don. So for everyone asking about, I'm going to be, I'm Don's agent and manager. Jimmy Joe, John Joe, that's my name. No. Don is on the road. He's driving, and hopefully he will join us later. So, and good evening, Eunice. Good evening to Eunice. I hope you're doing well. I completely forgot what I was talking about. Sorry about that. Let me apologize, guys, because I don't usually listen to the shows, but I did hear the first couple seconds of last week's show, and it was basically the first couple seconds were basically me sniffing and coughing. So I'm going to be more mindful to not do that. That's kind of gross. We're still in roll call. If there's anyone who wants to do a shout out, anyone who wants a shout out, I'm going to give Don Scialpi a shout out anyways because he said he's going to tune in later. Okay, so Jason just texted in and said that he understands Clayworth Pharmacy, 20353 Lake Chabot Road has extra vaccine shots available on a day-to-day basis after 4 or 5 p.m. Call for availability. So your best bet here is, if Jason is accurate here, call up Clayworth Pharmacy, 510-298-1757. I'll give you that one more time, 510-298-1757. That's Clayworth Pharmacy. And Jason is asserting that they have extra vaccine shots available day-to-day basis after 4 or 5 p.m. Call for availability and bring your identification and medical insurance card. So give them a ring if you're still looking for that elusive vaccine. Here's another one. Rob is asking, where is Don from One Bad Apple Records? Where is Don? So Don is on the road. Don is driving. Let me let him know that we've got like, what, 6 people asking for him? Okay. Sorry about that, guys. So there you go. One more time. According to Jason, Clayworth Pharmacy has extra vaccine shots available day-to-day basis after 4 or 5. Call for availability. So please definitely call in advance. Don't just show up there. Give them it would be probably best to call in advance to make sure that Mary is saying Don is a CV celebrity. He is. He's not just a celebrity. He's an awesome guy. Don is one of those guys that he's all heart, and he is a friend, and it's a pleasure and it's an honor to know Don. He's just an awesome guy. He would probably give you the shirt off his back if you asked for it. Bob is mentioning the Chabot Theater is reopening April 20th. Yes, I can confirm that. The Chabot Theater is reopening 4/20. And I don't think there's a marijuana association there, but they are opening 4/20. And I did hear from one of the folks at the Chabot, because I was trying to get more material here prepped for you guys to let you know what they'll be doing. But from what I understand, it's going to be kind of a grand reopening or grand opening celebration. There is nothing solid, but as soon as I get it, I'll pass it on to you guys. But Bob, you are absolutely correct. The Chabot will be opening 4/20. Matella is mentioning, let Don know his absences here are obviously very noticeable and missed. I agree. And I would like to, I'm going to take a screen capture of that and send it to Don. Bear with me, guys. I'm going to do this as fast as I can. Hold on. All right. There you go. Thank you, Mattel. I appreciate that. Leon is mentioning, Todd is mentioning the Chabot got their beer wine license approved. That is good news. I know that was one thing that Paul with the Chabot Theater was mentioning to me that they were looking at. So that I think, and Todd, you just let one of the kittens out of the bag. That would probably be something associated with their grand reopening. That's awesome. That's very cool. Leon is mentioning, you mentioned about the homeless tiny homes. Heard something about a few shows back what they were doing for the homeless, not just the celebrities email. I'm not sure, Leon, I'm not sure what you're asking for. We did post something about the tiny homes uh, through the First Presbyterian Hayward Church website. If you're looking for information on the tiny homes and how to apply, that would be your best bet. It is www.firstpreshayward.com/tiny/homes. And if you didn't get that, it is listed. It's actually listed in the comments there. There's also a contact email we have here for one of the folks responsible for the Tiny Homes Project, and that is Shizu, CHIZU at firstpreshayward.com. I'll give you that one more time. CHIZU at firstpreshayward.com if you are looking for information on the tiny homes. We've got another person asking, where's Don from One Bad Apple Records? Like I said, I just texted him numerous times. He's on the road. I think he's heading home. Hopefully he will be with us tonight. If not, we can rally and petition for Don to show up. Hey, either way, go check out Don's shop, One Bad Apple Records on the Boulevard. Even if you're not into records, you can have a conversation with Don. He's a really cool dude, and I'm sure he would appreciate he would appreciate your company. So if you pop in, let him know, hey, we miss you on the show. Catherine is asking, does anyone know how long the waiting list is for the tiny homes? I can't speak for them, but last week when we discussed the tiny homes and there was an update, they had, I think, 3 vacancies. So time may be of the essence for you to reach out and see if you can send an application to them to get on that waiting list. I would imagine it's probably fairly long. Bob is giving some Oakland A's updates. Bob said this was 2 minutes ago. After 2 innings, the A's aren't behind yet. Are the A's not doing good this year? I haven't really been following the A's. I love the A's, but I haven't really been following them this season. This season, haha. There we go. Here's another. Michael is tuning in. Where's Don from One Bad Apple Records? Is i- i- That's like 7 or 8. Is there? That's cool. So Michael, we've been reaching out to Don and inviting him back. He's apparently driving on the road, so hopefully he will join us as soon as he can. If not, maybe he'll join us next year. So, oops, I didn't mean to knock that off the list. So thank you to Jason. He kind of provided a segue to the next topic that I wanted to bring up, and that is what's happening with Bob is A's. A's are losing 0-5. It's 46-9. I'm not sure what, but Bob gave us the A score. They're losing 0-5. I'm not sure who they're playing, but the A's are losing by 5 to whoever they're playing. So the next topic was the vaccine, and thank goodness more people are getting the vaccine. I got mine Friday, and I wanted to share with you kind of what what happened during and after. So the place that I went to, I was kind of amazed that the line was really not that long. However, some of the things that we've heard in the media may not be true because this location, there was some tell going around in the news that you could bring someone with you and get a vaccine, um, or you could just show up and get one. It's not true. Um, there was someone. Here's Lisa. What happened to Don from One Bad Apple? I'm seeing some names here who aren't usually listening. So, are people being put up to to ask for Don, or are people really missing Don? That's like 8 or 9. Uh, I sent a few texts over to Don, and he's out on the road. He's apparently driving, so hopefully he will join the show later. If not, hopefully next week. But I've definitely been in touch with Don, and he's in good health. He's just been busy with life and things happening. So hopefully Don will join us later. But getting back to the vaccine, I was in line, and there were actually 2 people who just kind of showed up, and I guess maybe they thought that it was a walk-up situation, but it wasn't the case. So there were actually a couple people who did not have their printout from when you register, and some people were turned away from the line. But I can tell you this. Uh, Yeah, Denise is true. That is true. Don has a fan club, and deservedly so. Don is awesome. I said that earlier a couple minutes ago. Don's an awesome guy. I first met, and I know I'm jumping from topic to topic. You might need some Dramamine for for the jumping around from topic to topic here. But I first met Don a lot of years ago. I used to work with the Castro Valley Forum, and I met Don. He cut his hair because his father died from cancer, and he donated his long hair to Locks of Love. So I did a story about Don, and his hair was pretty long. And I believe his son donated some hair as well. So Don is one of those guys who's just got a huge heart, and like I said before, he would give you the shirt off his back. And so for everyone who's wondering where Don is, he's around. He's in good health. This has become the Don show, and it's cool because, like I said, Don's an awesome. Don is just an awesome dude. Um, yeah, Matella is accurate. Matella says the comment threads here are obviously not the same without Don. The main commenter is gone, and that's true. Don has an amazing and awesome sense of humor. Don says he's on the bridge, so Don is on the road, but he's on the way. So Don's coming. Don is saying that's nuts. Let me text him back. That what are we at, like 7 or 8 people who have asked for him? Let me let him know. Okay, there you go. Uh, uh, Gene is asking, does Don have a last name? His last name is Don. His name is Don Scialpi. And if you're from Castro Valley, you probably know him. Jared is asking any news on when Nick the Greek will open. Jared, from what I've seen, and I've kind of been stalking it, I've been stalking the Nick the Greek location in the village. And if you're not familiar with where Nick the Greek will be opening in the village, it is where Worldwide Art was located at. That's kind of catty corner to Ray Talbot Salon. And shout out to Ray Talbot Salon, great folks. and across from where the Hallmark store is. And I've heard nothing but good stuff about Nick the Greek. It looks to me like they might be a month or 2 months out because they're digging into the cement there for the kitchen that they will need to install. So maybe a month, maybe 2 months, but they are there. It looks like. Sorry, Don just sent me a comment there. Yeah, so Nick the Greek is coming. Like I said, month, maybe 2 months tops. But they're in there, they're rocking and rolling, they're digging into the cement so that they can install that kitchen. And I've heard nothing but good stuff about Nick the Greek. And actually, I have heard lots of raves about Nick the Greek from people that I know who are Greek. And they say it's authentic, it's legit, it's good stuff. So Jared is asking, is Castro Valley planning to have the fall festival this year? What I have heard, I don't think it's going to happen. Um, Unfortunately, there may be something online, and I know Todd Anglin is on the line. So if Todd has some inside info on the fall festival, Todd, definitely impart your information onto us about the fall festival. Bob is asking, where did I get my vaccination? And I got my vaccination at the Tiburcio Vasquez clinic that is on East 14th, right next to where Thrift Town used to be. And jumping back, thank you, Bob, because in jumping back to the vaccine discussion, there were people who were walking up and they were not being allowed vaccination due to, you have to have a computer, you have to have a printout that comes via email. And folks that did not have that were not registered, were actually being turned away. And I kind of misspoke earlier. I wanted to okay, so in response to Jared, Todd is mentioning in regards to the fall festival happening this year, Todd is mentioning slim chance from what he has heard since planning starts late last year. So it looks like there probably will not be a fall festival this year. And that's unfortunate because it's one of those super cool events that we have here in Castro Valley. I think, yeah, Todd is mentioning that a lot has changed in 30 days. So again, unfortunately, Jared, it doesn't look like there's going to be a fall festival this year. Getting back to the vaccination thing, I misspoke in regards to, from what I saw, there were some folks who brought folks with them to get the vaccination. There was an older gentleman who brought a younger person with them. And I'm just looking at the comments here. So yeah, I wanted to give you some information or some of the reaction to the vaccination. I did get the Johnson and Johnson, the one and done thing, and the side effects weren't too horrible. I know I've heard from quite a few people who have got the 2-dose thing that the first dose was not too bad, but the second dose kind of came in, and when folks got the second dose, there were quite a few side effects. I've heard from quite a few people that the second dose basically felt like a moderate to serious experience, feelings of like the flu. I can tell you with the Johnson and Johnson one, my reaction was the next day I kind of got the chills, and then I would get kind of hot, uh, a few aches and pains, and I definitely got tired. It made me very fatigued. So that was my reaction to the Johnson and Johnson. And as always, definitely if you're of a mind where you want to get the vaccine, and it's supposedly I'm I'm trying to pick my words here so I don't put out any misinformation. The talk is that there's more doses coming for people. I don't know if that's happening because I'm hearing from a lot of people who really want to get the vaccine and people who have health conditions that the appointments just aren't there. I'm hoping that that is going to change soon because I know there's quite a few people who are anxious and definitely willing and interested to get it, but the appointments just aren't there. I'm hearing from people that there's appointments open at the Coliseum. Hey, we got Bob calling in. Hang on. Hey, Bob.
Hey, so my son was getting tired doing the text.
That's all right.
So I thought I'd call the Ignacio Vasquez
Tiburcio. Yes, sir.
They do a really nice job
They
beyond
do.
what they're doing with COVID for a whole lot of other people's medical needs and like that. In fact, I got a card from them because we sent them a donation afterwards, just because they're a nonprofit and they can use all the help. But they are really we got ours at their clinic that is in Huntwood and Hayward next to the fire department, and it was in and out, and we had to do two because we got the Moderna, and they just do a really nice job.
They do.
Yeah.
What did you?
Go ahead.
Did you have any bad side effects after the second shot?
My wife more so than I.
Okay.
I mean, we got it on a Wednesday and Thursday. You know, I'm retired, so I don't have to worry about going to work or anything. Thursday, I was just a little out of it a little bit. My wife had a couple of days where she was, pretty achy, but it varies from person to person. But it beats the heck out of getting COVID.
Yeah.
And it seems to me, once I got mine, because I got mine back in March, my quest, and we've talked about it on the show before, is to get as many people as I know appointments. And so I was looking for my daughter and my son-in-law, and I was working for my brother-in-law in Michigan, and
wow.
I was able to get and some people actually listen to the show, and I was able to find where people can get appointments for everywhere, and it changed from minute to minute because if you went to my turn, I was sometimes they said go to the fairgrounds, sometimes they said to go to the Coliseum.
Mm-hmm.
By the time people got in, slots were gone. Then they were looking at Safeway, and Safeway, I would put in all my information for the Safeway on Foothill, and but by the time I got the information and the slot was gone, I was looking for some other people. But last weekend, it seemed like suddenly a lot of people were getting Johnson & Johnson, so there must have been a good supply of them, and getting one shot is better than getting two. So
yeah, I agree, and I'm hearing that just that frustration from people that they're looking online and there's just nothing there.
Well, but you do that, and then you do it 10 minutes later, and it's up. And you do it 10 minutes later, it's gone. It's just something that you have to check like every 10 or 15 minutes. But that's my brother-in-law. My brother-in-law is he's a senior citizen who is not into doing things digitally, and he was just having problems trying to find it. He's in a county in Michigan that was kind of impacted for some reason. They were not getting many doses and like that, and I just randomly was checking Walgreens for a friend here in Castro Valley, and then I said, well, let's try Michigan, and all of a sudden in Brighton, Michigan, where he lives, there was an appointment open on Easter, and I called him and said, hey, you're going to Walgreens on Sunday, and so he got his. So like I said,
that's awesome.
The heck. But I also check every day, and the positivity rate and everything else in Alameda County is looking really, really good.
Yeah, that's what I hear too.
So if we don't mess up collectively, and what Newsom said today, that their goal is to open up the state on June 15th, and I'm going to go to my first A game on April 17th.
There you go.
So, and I'm a big sports fan. I go to lots. I have season tickets to the A's and the Sharks, and to not be at a game for a year and a half is just pushing me through significant withdrawal. What I was saying about the A's before, the A's have played 5 games. They've lost the 5 games by a composite score of 9-2.
Oh, wow.
They're when I first texted, they were playing the Dodgers tonight. They're ahead 1-0, and in the course of the text, the Dodgers got back-to-back home runs, so now they're behind 4-1.
Wow.
They're supposed to be good this year, but
it's one of those rebuilding seasons.
I hope not.
Oh no.
So I've got listen to you, and I've got the A's on my screen checking the score, and I'm watching the Sharks at the same time. So that's my thing. That's what I do. So.
Oh wow, that's cool. Getting back to the vaccine registration, I hear a lot of buzz that it's best to try the websites at midnight. Is there any truth to that, or?
I read somewhere that a good time to check it is on Wednesdays.
Okay.
Because that's when they get their allocation of what they're going to get the next year. Now, when you went to Vasquez, did you get your appointment online?
Yes, I did. Yep.
Because they if they don't have appointments open, they do have a waiting list. So I know a number of people have gotten on through the waiting list.
I actually registered online, and I did call to follow up because I wasn't sure if the registration was filed. But it didn't take long for them to get back to me. It took maybe a week for the appointment to come through.
So they do have, and I know you've actually posted their website, I think, on this page. If you go in and you fill out their registration, they will get back to you.
Yeah,
so if you're looking for it and you don't want to, that's a really good resource. They've got the one on 14th Street, which is just about in Castro Valley.
Yeah.
They've got a clinic in
there's one
Hayward, on Huntwood by the fire station. They've got one other in Oakland, I think.
There's one in Union City too, I believe.
Oh, Union City, that's the one. Yep. That's what I was thinking about. So people are looking for it. That's a good place to go.
Definitely is, and it's you can just do a Google search Tiburcio Vasquez, and under the heading it's COVID registration, and give it a shot.
Yeah, and it definitely pays if you looking for it. I mean, it jumped up a lot this week because they added people over 50, and then next week they're going to add people.
Everyone over 16.
Basically anyone, but please, people, don't give up.
Definitely.
We need to get everybody done so we can get this herd thing and get back to whatever normal is these days.
Whatever normal's going to look like, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Well,
I'm sorry, I'm Sharks almost scored, but that's multimedia tasking here. I didn't mean to take over your show.
No.
If you ever can't make it, you just set me up. The other thing I wanted to talk about, and I want to try to get him to call in, is we talk about survival and talk about the Chabot surviving. A highly underrated resource in Castro Valley, the Chanticleers.
Oh yeah,
and they are doing some things virtual. They are, keep pushing their show back. I know they want to do cabaret later this year. They were supposed to do it during the pandemic, but it's been postponed. And their artistic director is a guy who's directed the shows I've been in, and he's a really nice guy, good guy. His name's John Biaggi, and I've tried to get him a call a couple of times. So what I might just have him do is call me, and we can talk when you have a show that you have a lot of other things going on. But people, you go to their website and see what's going on. And anything you can do. Basically, they're doing a show, and then you can stream it for 48 hours as part of their ticket.
Oh, that's
ticket
cool.
Price.
That's cool.
And they can use all the support because they've done a lot. they've been here forever.
Yep. Yeah.
And they've done little productions, and they've done. I was involved. In fact, today I got a CD, Fiddler on the Roof, that they did in 2007, and that's when I first really got to know Al.
Okay.
Because Al played the rabbi, and I played Laser Wolf, and it was amazing that on that tiny stage we had 37 actors at one time.
Wow.
And then and the biggest problem was figuring out how to get everybody in and out off stage. We were going through the house and around the sides and all kinds of things like that.
That's not a big stage.
But it was really a remarkably good show for what they've done. They've done.
They always have. They
do lots of plays and like that. But they did Gypsy after that. They've done a bunch of shows, and also our other thing is Douglas Morrison and all the good things that they do.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Yep. That's from Hard, and they have slightly deeper pockets than Chanticleers does.
Yeah.
And anybody supports Chanticleers, along with everything else in Castro Valley.
Definitely.
So that's it. I just wanted to, like I said, I was getting tired of, and that's why I was doing your text about the A scores and stuff like that.
I appreciate it. Anything that comes up in the comments keeps the show moving. And I appreciate you, Bob, very much. Great. Everything that you bring to this show is awesome. I still look for this guy on a bicycle. One time when we get a little bit further, we'll go get some pop somewhere. I'll tell you where I'm going to be, and we can actually meet face to face. I'd like that. That'd be great. Looking forward to it.
Okay. Hello, everybody. And you know what? It's fun to call in, and that's what if Don's in his car texting you, he should call you on the phone. So, Don, if you're there, call in.
Thank you, Bob. Appreciate it.
Give them the numbers, Robert.
I will do that. Thank you again, Bob. I appreciate
Talk
it.
to you later.
Have a great evening.
Bye.
Thank you again, Bob. So I was just adjusting the microphone here. Good evening to John. John is late to the show, but I'm better late than never, and thank you for showing up. One last thing that I wanted to bring up here, and this is kind of hitting home. Oh, let me give you the phone number one more time. And I'm isn't it funny you slow down and you get a little bit more deeper because you focus on enunciating correctly. Enunciate is tonight's $2 word. Tonight's show is brought to you by the word enunciate. And Mary is commenting that Chanticleers is an awesome little theater, a gem in Castro Valley. I agree wholeheartedly. And I wanted to share with you, unfortunately, Krayon's Tavern is going to be closing. Well, I think they are closed. They're not going to be reopening. And I have known Karen and Fred Jonke at Krayon's for a lot of years, and they're two of those people in Castro Valley that are just awesome, and they've Karen particularly. Karen is one of my most favorite people in Castro Valley. She's got an amazing sense of humor. She knows a lot about things that have happened here. So always a pleasure to talk to her. They've been here 42 years, and it's bittersweet because I know Karen and Fred are going to enjoy their retirement. But I wanted to share with you some history about Karen and Krayon's that you may not know. That is actually pretty amazing. And I'm just going to read you the story that we printed in our magazine, and I'll have our admin post it to the comments. I don't think I can do it here on my end. Let me see if I can. Let's see. Hang on here. No, I can't do it here, but I'll post it later. But I wanted to read to you some of the history that Karen shared with me, and I'll just read you the story here. So, and this ran in our magazine, I think, a couple years ago, And here's the story. And this is, if you don't know this, it's so interesting. Decades ago, women were not allowed to own a drinking establishment or even tend bar. Castro Valley business owner Karen Jonke remembers the days of a male-dominated industry and when those old-school workplace barriers were shattered. And here's the quote from Karen. It was just how things were back then that women were not allowed behind the bar, explained Jonke, who started serving cocktails in 1967 at the age of 21 as a single mother to support her 3 young children. She worked years in the industry and purchased Duffy's, which was the bar before Crayons, on Castro Valley Boulevard in 1979 with the help. Sorry, I lost my place. She purchased Duffy's on Castro Valley Boulevard in 1979 with the help of business partners she later bought out. The establishment was renamed Crayons, which is Jonke's nickname. Jonke says one of the main arguments bar owners had was it was not safe for a woman to be behind the bar, but it was fine for them to be cocktail waitresses. All that changed in 1972 when amendments were made to one of the titles of the Equal Employment Opportunity Act that broke down discriminations against women in the workplace. And here's a quote from Karen. People hear about those days and don't believe women were not allowed to do a lot of things, explained Jonke, who said when the rules and roles change, most gentlemen were accepting of the new way bars operated. And Karen was actually one of the first female bar owners, I believe, in this area. I can't say that she was the first, but she was among one of the first female bar owners in probably this kind of nook of the East Bay. So if you guys don't know that history, you do know it now. And with that said, hey, I want to say, well, let me give you the phone number one more time if you guys want to text in. 510-331 9112 is the number if you would like to text something in or if you would like to call. Either or is fine. Let me see if I can get that over to you guys soon. You know what? After the show's over, I'll just post a screen capture of that story so you guys can read it if you like. If not, that's okay too. But one more time, 510-331-9112 is the number. And there's actually one more thing on the list here. And I'm kind of on the fence whether I want to share this or not. At the end of last week's show, I think we had kind of a conversation. We were talking about the situation with a lot of the Asian folks being attacked, and that the entire that whole ugliness surrounding that, and it brought to mind a story. Actually, an experience and a story that I wanted to share. Um, my uncle was Chinese, and bear with me if I get emotional about this, because my uncle, oh crap, my uncle died a couple months ago, and like Don, my uncle Mike was one of those guys who would give you literally the shirt off his back, and he'd probably give you all of the cash in his pocket if you needed it and you asked for it. Growing up, I had the pleasure of hanging out with my uncle a lot. So I was exposed to a lot of Asian culture that I probably would not have been exposed to otherwise. And there was one time I was in public with my uncle, and My uncle's first language was not English, so there was he had some difficulty saying things in English, and there was one time I'm not going to mention where we were at, but we were at a public place, and not under his breath, some guy said some crass thing about my uncle. It was a blatant racial comment, and as a brazen and gutsy, I think 14, 15-year-old boy, I felt the need to get into an adult's face and ask him what his problem was with my uncle being Chinese. And thankfully, the adult made the adult choice to not engage in my confrontational behavior. And I guess what I'm trying to say is any sort of racism sucks. And I'll close the show this week like we did last week. Just stop. This racist stuff has got to stop. There's no excuse for it. There's no reason for it. And I just miss my uncle. Anyways, before I lose it, thank you guys for tuning in and for listening. We will be here next Tuesday night, 7 p.m. When the going gets weird, the weird turn pro. And don't be afraid to cry. It's all right. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. We'll catch you next week. Take care.